The story starts in the gateway to heaven, which is also known as the upper atmosphere. The 10th level angel of heaven, Ramiel, who is a gatekeeper, suddenly notices a human, a mere mortal, stepping into the heaven. He tries to stop the human by wielding his sword, but the human is so omnipotent that even an angel like Ramiel gets overpowered. The human stops and shouts at the chief, telling him to come out instead of being a weakling. The commotion was huge enough to attract the other angels' attention. Is it true that gatekeeper Ramiel has been attacked? The 8th level angels of heaven, 4 archangels ask. They also try to stop the human from invading the heaven. Who are you? One of the archangels questions. The person replies that he is just a mere human. The angel says, while attacking, that this place is for immortals. The heavenly world and the humans who come here can only be dead people. The human punches the archangel and sends him flying. One of the archangels takes out his heavenly bow and arrow and launches it at the human. The angel thinks that he got too excited against a human. As a result, he launched a very powerful attack, but in the next moment he gets totally shocked as he sees that the human is completely fine. The human kicks that angel and makes him fall to the ground. As he is looking at the ground, one of Archangel teleports and tries to attack him with a divine sickle. The human suddenly gets at the back of the angel unnoticeably in mere seconds and deals an attack with his elbow. The last remaining archangel starts to recite a spell in order to kill the human, but he suddenly gets confused as he searches for the human who vanished right in front of his eyes. In the next moment, the human appears above him and knocks the remaining one with an impactful punch. With this, 4 of the archangels were defeated, and he lands on the ground. The human, although being alone in the enemy territory, speaks loud and clear that he wants the chief to come out. Hearing his voice, the heavenly army of the 7th level angels approaches him. The leader of the army, who is a humongous angel with high physical strength, shouts while trying to step on the human. The angel notices that the human has vanished, but after some moments he sees that someone is grabbing his leg and pulling him backwards. The human, with his physical strength alone, spins the angel and pins him down at the army. The army was completely wiped out. After this, another angel comes into view. 5th level angel of heaven, Lord of the sky. Rogariel praises the human for having such formidable strength. Rogariel speaks that the human has to defeat him in order to advance forward. Ha! As a human, you can only come this far, can't you come closer? Rogariel questions. The human reveals his true form. His eyes glow like an angel and he has the teeth of a devil. Upon seeing this, Rogariel gets terrified and notices that the human has vanished. He turns around and witnesses the complete true form of the human. He has the same feathers like an angel, but in the contrary, its color is black. By the time, Rogariel realizes that he is not just fighting against a mere human, but something more than that. The human in his true form just flicks his finger at the angel's forehead to send him flying. Right, the legend was true. You are the hybrid? Aren't you? Rogariel asks. Rogariel tells the human that the word hybrid is a well-deserved title for this kind formidable power. As the hybrid is leaving, Rogariel asks him, why is he using this enormous power against heaven? The hybrid, who is also our MC, replies that this is just the beginning, as he will not stop until he destroys the heavenly world. Additionally, he says while giving a deathly glare that he will not spare a single thing. Why? What made you go to this extent of evil? Rogariel questions while coughing. After hearing this, our MC gets a little emotional. He says that the reason why he is doing this is only because the angels took away everything from him. So, he will surely make them pay for their deeds. After hearing this, our MC gets a little emotional. He says that the reason why he is doing this is only because the angels took away everything from him. So, he will surely make them pay for their deeds. Stir-fried pork with rice, he shouts as he wakes up from his dreams. Stir-fried pork with rice? What kind of sleep talk is this? What on earth was I dreaming about? He questions himself upon waking up. He doesn't even remember. He feels like he is having a lot of strange dreams these days. And it felt like he was fighting with angels. He decides to stop gaming for that reason. As he is touching his spectacles, his finger suddenly sparks, and his whole body tingles as if electricity is flowing inside him. "Ick, are you awake?" His mother calls him upon entering his room. "Is there something wrong with your body?" his mother asks. She tells Ick to let her know if he suddenly feels secondary sexual characteristics in his body, or if he wakes up and feels something different under the blanket. These weird interrogations startled the boy as he wakes up from his bed. His mom tells him to wash up and eat as she has to go to work. His dad is doing the house chores. He gently holds his dad's shoulders from behind. His dad gets scared as he assumes that his wife is telling him something. "Ah, I was wrong! Ah, I won't do that again!" He shouts in fear of his wife. In the next moment, he feels relieved to see that it's Ick. Ick, "Would you like toast for breakfast this morning?" his father asks. Ick gets ready and decides not to have the breakfast as it's getting late for school. Ick's mom reminds him that today is his birthday, so he must come home on time because there will be a party in the evening. After he leaves, the mood between the husband and wife changes as if they were hiding something. Ick thinks that his parents are acting weird today. His mom and dad, who have never said anything displeasing. He is now in his 3rd year of high school, so he thinks that they are probably trying to pressurize him to study. He says that he came to his senses now. Starting today, he really needed to quit playing games and study hard. He decides that for math, he has to break down permutations and combinations, then listen to English during every day, and repeat it 1.25 times indefinitely. He looks at his watch and remembers that it's already time for school, so he plans to take a shortcut and runs for it. As he is running, his body feels lighter than before. He was running too fast and unintentionally bumps into some gangster students. Due to the impact, the boy flies for a brief moment and hits the ground. After that, he notices that he is bleeding. His companions calls Ick and keeps his arms around Ick's shoulders, telling him to apologize. "Blood? How could a person like me hurt someone with just a bump?" Ick asks, while being confused. The injured person's friend tells Ick to pay for the injuries, and at the same time he also gets shocked to see that Ick's shoulders didn't get dislocated even after bumping into such a huge person. "Huh? Do I have to pay the medical expenses?" Ick questions. At that moment, a streak of light pierces the sky. 8th level angel of heaven. Guardian. Angel Henael transcends from the sky. She is here in the human world in order to look for a certain someone. The gangster kid asks for $1,000,001 and tries to pressurize Ick by cornering him. The other kid tries to stop his companion out of pity. "Are you going to run away after hurting someone? Should I serve you a lawsuit?" The kid questions while kicking Ick, but after kicking his legs, starts to hurt. He feels as if he has kicked a rock. Ick then bumps into the angel. Henael says that she has found the person she was looking for. The school kids thinks that the girl is an angel cosplayer. Henael introduces herself as a guardian angel and says that she can't forgive those kids for hitting Ick. "Guardian angel? Did you get the cosplay from the insurance company? Could you please move out of the way? We need to finish our remaining agreement. How about putting it nicely? Let's see the agreement, shall we?" the kid asks angrily. Henael glares at the kid. She says that she would punish these bad kids accordingly. She jumps upwards, rotating her body, and uses an attack named Kick of Salvation along with the Rebirth Punch. The kid bleeds badly. She then punches the other kid because of doing a crime of shouting in a residential area. Henael asks Ick whether he is okay. "Do you know me?" Ick questions. She says that Ick is the ultimate Abraxas that appears once in a million years. Ick tells Henael that she has misunderstood him as he was asking about his name. Henael replies that she also knows that he is Lee Ick, a high school student of 3rd grade. "How do you know that?" Ick questions. She replies that she can tell all that from J.I.K.'s school uniform. Hanael scans J.I.K.'s body and sees that his skills are pretty average, not yet human-level tier. She can't see it yet, and the power level is about 8%. Jae-ik asks whether they have met in a game named Canyon and asks for Hanael's ID. Hanael, in the contrary, doesn't understand what Canyon is. She says that she doesn't know anything about it, but she says that she is an angel who has come to this world to give support to J.I.K. He says that he is sorry, but he has stopped playing starting today. He decided that he should have a hobby other than playing games. Jae-ik says that if Hanael cosplays in the morning and goes outside, it feels like she has caught the middle school second-year syndrome. The power struggle between the heavenly realm and the underworld took place in the Valley of Valhalla. Do you remember the duel that took place there? Do you really know that much? Hanael asks eagerly. Jae-ik doesn't understood any of it and decides to leave by saying thanks to the angel. The angel then transforms herself as a high school student and gets transferred to Jae-ik's school and classroom. She introduces herself as Park Hae-na in front of the students and points at a seat. In the meantime, the teacher announces that the class will start soon, so everybody should sit down and get ready. The students feel that the atmosphere of the classroom has changed as soon as Hae-na entered. She goes near Jae-ik and tells him that she found him again. She says hello, and Jae-ik replies by saying hi without noticing whom he is talking to, but after some time he realizes that she is the same girl that he met this morning. What are you asking for something in return for helping me earlier? Why do you keep chasing me? Jae-ik questions. Hanael explains that it's true that she is chasing Jae-ik because she came looking for him. Because he is the ultimate Abraxas that appears once in a million years, and among them, Jae-ik is destined to become the most powerful being, a hybrid. After hearing this, Jae-ik gets shocked and wonders what she meant by hybrid. Hanael shows a card of Sagike, the ultimate product with the powers of both an angel and a demon, a term used to refer to a hybrid who surpasses even the power of a god and is considered to be among the highest tier of the Abraxas class. She says it's really difficult to get this card. It's legendary, but she can't believe that she is seeing one in real life. Could this be some game addiction? Jae-ik asks. Hanael replies that it would be difficult for Jae-ik to understand all of this because he has not awakened yet. But she says that his body, his awakening, and she has a way to prove it. What abilities do you have? Me? Abilities? What is she going on about? Jae-ik wonders. Hanael includes that no matter what Jae-ik will do, he will have amazing abilities. This statement corrupted Jae-ik's mind, so he tries to find something unique in him. In the drawing class, he feels like his hands are going crazy. But in the end, he drew a cartoon instead of a person. In the playing ground, he kicks the football and makes an awesome goal, but the ball he kicked thought that the goalpost might be the basketball hoop. Is this even possible? He wonders. Hey you, Lee Jae-ik. Who dares play basketball with a soccer ball? His coach asks angrily. He says, sorry to the coach. After eating lunch, all the students fall asleep, but in the contrary, Jae-ik, while studying diligently, thinks that he is different, and his concentration is different from usual. Jae-ik. What are you working hard on? His teacher asks while taking his copy. The teacher sees that Jae-ik has written the words angel student and focus a lot of times. What are you doing studying English during Korean history class? The teacher questions. Jae-ik feels something has changed within him from before, but he also thinks that all his abilities are lacking something. Hanael explains that it is because his powers are not fully awakened yet. However, she says that if his fundamentals are solid, then there might be a way, but she loses hope once seeing Jae-ik scoring a perfect 0. Even if Jae-ik is a hybrid, she guesses that he has to gain his knowledge on his own. But once the power of the hybrid is properly awakened, she assures him that he can overcome all hurdles. She says that he can become an Abraxas in an instant. In the stairs, Jae-ik asks Hanael about Abraxas and what they actually are. She explains that Abraxas is a being that transcends the gods of the human world, and especially because Jae-ik is a hybrid, he could even surpass an Abraxas, and he definitely would in the near future, and that's the reason why she has come here to protect and help Jae-ik awaken his power. At that moment, a student throws something at Jae-ik, but he dodges it with his great reflexes. "Who is this Zopop?" Hanael asks. Zopop is a substandard life form with no abilities whatsoever, emitting only methane and carbon dioxide. A being that has no effect on the universe. After hearing this, the person named Yoontae gets really pissed off. Hanael then tells Jae-ik to give Yoontae some hits to back her up. Jae-ik says that Yoontae is the best in his class when it comes to fighting. Hanael replies that it really doesn't matter. The question is how well he can control his strength and whether Yoontae dies in one hit or two. For now, she tells him to think that he is catching a fly by extending his fist. What's the best way to educate children who do not value their classmates? Hanael questions, and she also gives the answer that all he has to do is beat the children who needs to be educated up to the point that they don't die so they can come to their senses. In the meantime, Yoontae is getting extremely mad and losing his cool. Lastly, Hanael tells Jae-ik to believe in himself and to take a shot. The fight begins. Yoontae tries to slap his opponent, but Jae-ik dodges swiftly. Jae-ik then moves his hand towards Yoontae to stop him. Yoontae flies away due to the brute force Jae-ik exerted with his hands. A friend of Yoontae comes to his rescue, seeing him bleeding. "Yoontae, what happened to you? Who did this to you?" his friend asks. Yoontae shouts, telling his friend to let go of him, and asks, "What is he doing here?" His friend's face grew pale as he says that Yoontae has come to their class through the wall, and his companion wonders how can this be possible. At the same time, Jae-ik is looking for Yoontae, as he doesn't know where he went through the wall. Hanael goes to that classroom and uses a healing magic at Yoontae. After getting healed and seeing Jae-ik, Yoontae charges at him. Jae-ik again uses his power unknowingly, and Yoontae hits the wall of the blackboard. Hanael again uses healing magic to cure Yoontae. This time also, after getting healed, he jumps straight at Jae-ik to attack him. Jae-ik's eyes changes color and becomes red, and this time he goes to punch his opponent. Hanael jumps in to save Yoontae and uses cure to keep Yoontae conscious. Yoontae feels like he was on the brink of going Super Saiyan. Hanael then goes to check Jae-ik. Jae-ik feels that his whole body is tingling. She sees that Jae-ik has already attained red eyes, and it only happens when the evil side within a hybrid manifests first. Hanael firstly uses hypnosis on the students, which forces them to think about good and beautiful ideas. Both of them feel like that they need to keep this world clean and go to work on it. Secondly, she uses restoration to fix the crack in the wall. Jae-ik regains consciousness and asks what just happened. Why was the wall damaged? Hanael replies that it's all because of his strength, which awakened quicker than expected. She tells Jae-ik to listen carefully. She says that soon the forces of evil will come for him because he has already awakened the vibrations of evil, and they must have already felt the hybrid's awakening. At that time, a devil comes out from a magic gate. He says that he never expected to see a wave of evil this quickly. Who made the sound of the evil wave? He wonders. After some time, the previously two brothers who were beaten by Hanael comes to the school with their big brother. Upon reaching near the school gate, their big brother notices a strange person. "Who's that guy?" he questions. The demon says that he thinks that he has come to the right place. Seeing the demon, some boys starts to make fun of him. The demon then approaches them and asks them that if it is the Purgatory High School. The boys ignores his question and asked him, "Who is he?" The demon gives a dead look and tells them that he is Demon Scalpel, and he is in the level 6 of Hell Demon Army. Hearing this, the boys burst out in laughter, and the short guys tells Scalpel that he is also a demon. The short guys also says that he is the authority for private lending in this area, and he is the one called Little Demon Wu Shijimi. The subordinates of the short guy also says that he is strong, and he has also learned judo. Scalpel leans towards the shorty and asks him if he is a Zopop. The boys get a bit scared and ask Scalpel that what is that. Scalpel takes a closer look and says that he is an imp who is lurking around the world. For your information, imp is the lowest level of demon and is famous for being ugly and short. They extort money and are very greedy. Hearing this, the short guy shouts that he is not a imp. He is the little demon. As Scalpel is not agreeing with him, the short guy gets angry and says that he have to use his secret method. The subordinates of the guy get scared thinking that he will change into that form. The short guy raises his hands and tells Scalpel that he will be so scared to see this that his whole body will be soaked in sweat from fear. Scalpel smiles and asked him that if he is going to show him something fun. But the most shocking part is that after saying all this bossy dialogues, the short guy acts like a lady and tries to act cute. What a disgusting sight. The shorty's subordinates also get shy to see this. This is Shorty's ultimate trick, as he thinks that if he does this, no one will be able to hit his cute face. Seeing this, Scaled stand still. The other two guys starts to cry and close their eyes. Shorty gets more closer to Scalpel and acts like a young lady. He then makes a disgusting face and asked Scalpel that if he wants to punch this cute face. On the other hand, the orange-haired guy gets mad and tries to beat the shit out of him. Scalpel makes an annoyed face and looks at the guy. On the other side, we can see Jayak is running away from Hanael, but as Jayak's human speed is no match to an angel's speed, so he was caught by Hanael. Hanael grabs him and asked him that why is he avoiding her, Jayak, then tells her that until yesterday, he was just an ordinary high school student whose favorite food was pork rice bowl. But a strange game addict appears suddenly and everything becomes weird. His peaceful daily life has been completely destroyed. Hearing this, Hanael replies that she is his guardian angel. JIK gets scared and says that he knows that and that why it is so weird. An angel in an ordinary school. How does that even make sense? Also, what is a hybrid and what is an awakening? 8. Ik also says that he finds it unfamiliar and scary. Hanael stands still after hearing this. She tries to help out Jaiki, so he tells him that she is his friend, so she will share his hardship with him. Jik gets annoyed and starts to walk away. At that time, Hanael grabs his shoulder and tells him that as today is his birthday, so if she can come and wish him, Jik gets a bit confused, so he asked Hanael that, how did she know that? I'm your guardian angel, not just in name or appearance. Wouldn't it be weird if I didn't know even this much? How about it? Are you fine now? Hanael replied. She also says that if an angel comes and blesses him on his birthday, he will achieve everything he wants. After hearing this, Ik agrees that she can come with him, but he puts one condition. The condition is that if his parents find out that she is an angel, they might be shocked, so she has to keep it a secret. And also, this is his first time inviting a non-human to his house, so she must never reveal that she is an angel. Hanael jumps in joy and agrees to the condition and tells Ik to trust her. After that, she grabs both of Jayak's shoulders and actives her wings and take Jayak and flies high in the sky. Jayak gets scared and asked Hanael that what is she doing as he has told her to not reveal her identity. Hanael ignores Jayak and flies quickly towards Jayak's home. On the other side, we can see Scalpel is dealing with the short guy. He tells the guy that it is fun, and he gets closer to the guy's ears and uses devil's whispers and tells that guy that he is cute. Hearing this, the shorty feels a strange sensation. It is like a hot dagger stabs his chest and hurts him. Shorty then feels on the ground on his knees. Seeing this, his subordinates rushes forward. Scalpel points his fingers to them and also shots them with his magic. The guy feels extreme pain and falls on the ground. At that time, Henael flies over there. Scalpel looks at the sky and he gets that this is an angel's trail. He then also actives his wings and flies and flow the trail. In the meantime, Henael and Jaek has safely reached Jaek's home. After landing, Jaek yells at her saying that what will she do if people sees this? Henael apologized to him and says that she was excited, as it's been a while she has been invited to a birthday. Jaek then opens the door and warns Henael to stay properly in his home. Seeing Jaek home, his dad greets him and asked him that why he is so shaky. Jaek ignores that and introduces his new friend to his dad. Henael greets Jaek's dad, but after seeing her, Jaek's dad starts to sweat. Later, while the both of them are walking inside at that time, Jaek's dad asked Henael that, what is she doing while she is on work? Henael tells him to stay quiet and don't show it. After that, Jaek dad calls him and shows him the birthday cake that he made himself. Jaek gets surprised and asked his dad that, why did he make it as they usually order from outside? His dad replies that this birthday of his is a bit special, so he make one for him. At that time, the doorbell rings. As Jaek opens the door, he sees that Scalpel is standing with a present in his hand. Scalpel says hello to everyone and tells them that HR has come to congratulate his new friend on his birthday. Seeing Scalpel. Henael and Jaek's dad gets that he is a demon, so they stays on guard. Jaek tells Scalpel that he didn't know him, so who did they become friends? Scalpel pulls Jaek towards him and says that from tomorrow he studying with him in the same school, so they are friends. Jaek's dad gets out of there by saying that he needs to check the oven. Jaek also goes to his room to change his clothes. At that time, Henael launched her attack on Scalpel. Due to the impact, Scalpel flies away and gets out of the home. Henael follows him and again attacks, but Scalpel is also a powerful demon, so he easily deals with Henael's attacks. At that time, Jaek gets out of this room, and as he looks out, he sees that the two of them are fighting. He gets closer to the railing and shouts at them to stop this fighting and quickly get back. Hearing Jaek, they gets back, and Henael uses her powers to restore the damaged things. After that, Scalpel opens the present box, and from there, he takes out a blue crystal. He tells Jaek that with the help of this crystal, they can see his future. Jaek and Henael looks at the blue crystal. After that, Scalpel casts the magic, and the crystal ball starts to emit bright light. Now it's the time to see if Jaek will become a terrifying demon, or will he become an angel who is more merciful than the angels themselves. As the blue crystal shines brightly, we can see the future of Jaek, but it is so faster that Jaek and the other two entities are unable to see a single thing. The demon Scalpel then adjusts the speed to 0.5. Even though the speed is set to 0.5, the image is so blurry that nobody is able to understand anything. Scalpel then puts some of his magic in the crystal, and a clear image of a boy with pitch-black body and wings in a red background appears. Seeing this, Scalpel says that it is the image of an evil, and so in the future, Jaek will be a demon. Don't talk nonsense! You dastardly demons! Are you going to use tricks to take him away? The angel Henael says this and gives a powerful slap on the face of Scalpel. Due to the impact of the slap, Scalpel's jaw gets disoriented and he starts to bleed from nose and mouth. Scalpel gets up and he fixes his jaw and tells Henael that the angels are wicked, that they trying to claim those who have not yet fully awakened. Henael makes an angry face and tells Scalpel that Jaek must stand on Angel's side, as they can't allow demons like him to wield such great power. Seeing Hanael getting fired up, Scalpel also gets angry and tells Hanael, and if she tries to attack one more time, he won't hold back. Seeing the two of them fighting, J.E.K. shouts and tells them to stop. He then goes towards them and tells them to stay low, or else his dad will notice. The fun fact is that J.E.K.'s dad knows all of this and is scared by seeing this scene. At that time, the doorbell rings and J.E.K. knows that it is his mom. He tells Scalpel and Hanael to quickly clean up the mess before his mom enters. J.A.I.K's mom opens the door with the keys and enters the room. Seeing her, J.A.I.K. goes to her and greets her. But J.I.K.'s mom notices Scalpel and gets shocked. She uses telepathy and tells Scalpel to act like he doesn't know her. J.A.I.K. then tells his mom that this new guys are his friends. J.A.I.K.'s mom maintains her composure and nicely greets her son's new friends. At that time, J.A.I.K.'s dad comes with the birthday cake and tells J.A.I.K. that they should now start the birthday party. After that, all of them sits on the table with the cake. Everyone is silent, so the situation gets intense. In the meantime, J.I.K.'s dad remembers that he needs a lighter to light up the candles, so he gets up to get them. But at that time, Scalpel summons the hellfire and lights up all the candles. J.I.K. gets scared to see this. Hanael also doesn't want to fall behind Scalpel, so she plays a birthday music for J.I.K. Hanael's voice is like the angels, so to cover it up, J.A.I.K. tells his mom that Hanael used some AI speaker to play the song. While the kids are enjoying the angels' music, J.I.K.'s dad whispers to his mom that today is J.I.K.'s 19th birthday, and this to persons are Demon and Angel who has come here to take J.I.K. on their sides. J.I.K.'s mom tells J.I.K.'s dad to shut up, as she already knows this. But the reason the both of them are so nervous because they are scared that their true identity will be revealed to J.I.K. Then thanks this mom and dad for wishing him happy birthday. He also says that he can't believe that how fast time flies as he has already turned 19. After telling everyone his thanks, he tells them that now he is going to make a wish. Hearing this, the demon and the angel smiles, because they both think that J.I.K. will either wish to be a demon or an angel. The reason that both the demon realm and the angel realm wants to take over J.I.K. is because they are scared about J.I.K.'s powers, because the future J.I.K. will be the apex hybrid. After a while, J.I.K. has finished his wish, and now he wants to blow the candles. At that time, Angel Hanael gets scared and tells the other three that there was a person mentioned in the old legend. The person name is Moot King, the Abraxas he was from Atlantis. Although he failed to become an apex hybrid, he gained tremendous abilities through awakening, and the first thing he did as soon as he awakened was because his shoes got wet and uncomfortable as he walked by. With just a breath, he caused the Mu continent to sink and disappear from the face of the earth. The four of them thought that J.I.K. blow with have the same effect, so they were so scared. But fortunately, nothing like that happened, and the candles were blown out, peaceful. After that, J.I.K. takes a knife and starts to cut that cake at that time. Scalpel tells them the story of another hybrid, that person name, was the O.P. Abraxas, and he was from planet Mars, although he also failed to become an apex hybrid. But as soon as he awakened on his birthday, he used the dagger in his hand and made a huge scratch on Mars. As a result, all life forms on Mars became extinct and were forgotten. But again, nothing like that happened, and J.I.K. peacefully served the cakes. After that, the four of them get up from the table and comes on a corner. They were all tensed about J.I.K.'s awakening, as it has not happened yet. They were all so tensed as the first awakening is supposed to held on the 19th birthday. Hanael tells them that J.I.K. has experienced his initial awakening powers at school. After not finding any clue, they decide to ask J.I.K. about the wish. While J.I.K. is enjoying his cake, his mom and dad comes to him and asked him about his wish. Jayak then gets into a serious mode, and by fixing his glasses, he starts to tell them about his wish. Scalpel starts to measure the power rise in Jayak, and he finds that the power has risen about 15%. While Jayak is talking, everyone is sensing a powerful viv from him. After a while, the power gauge jumps to 20%, and by seeing this, Scalpel gets happy. Aura starts to cover Jayak when he tells that the weak and foolish Jayak from yesterday will be no more. After a while, Jayak gives a dramatic shout and says that from today onwards, he will study hard to get into the Seoul University, and after that, he is going to get a job at Naver. Hearing this, the four of them gets depressed. After an earthquake, Jayak's dad and the angel jumps in joy and says that it's a perfect awakening. Scalpel gets angry, and he smacks the face of Jayak on the cake. Hanael comes and rises up Jayak and asked Scalpel that if he is trying to hurt Jayak. Scalpel laughs and tells them that, as it's his friend's awakened birthday, so he should congratulate him. After that, Jaik goes to the washroom to clean him up. Scalpel then sits and thinks that the awakening process is so slow that Jaik has only unlocked 20% of his awakening powers. And with this, powers Jaik won't be able to dodge a single attack of Scalpel. Scalpel then starts to think that what he should do to full awaken Jaik's powers. After a while of thinking, Scalpel tells others that there should be a symbols that appears on Jaik's body, and also Jaik hasn't manifested the demonic symbol, the black wings, yet. Hearing this, Hanael tells Scalpel that what he is talking about as Jaik will manifest the white wings. After that, the two of them starts to argue of this topic. Normally, an Apex hybrid has both the wings, and initially it's up to Jaik that what wings he wants. After that, Hanael and Scalpel argues that Jaik will choice their wings, but after huge arguments, they decided that they will encourage Jaik's awakening. Hearing this, Jaik's mom and dad tells them that they were told that they only need to take care of that kid until he turns 19. So they thought they could return today. Scalpel and Hanael reply that they will have to do overtime. After that, we can see Jaik is in the washroom and he is cleaning his face and shirt. But there is a strange thing he has been feeling from the moment he enters his home. The thing is that from the moment Jaik enters the home, he has a feeling that something is sprouting on his back. The next day in the streets, Jaik finds a bag full of money. He counts how much money is in the bag and searches for the person who put their bag here and forgot. He then sees a girl who is looking for something desperately. "Where did I put the money?" She cries while searching. She says that she lost it like a careless person. The money even includes the tuition fee she has been saving up for a long time. Jaik thinks that he can't help but sympathize when he sees someone in difficulty. He hands over the money bag to the girl. The girl says thanks to him and calls him an angel. Am I really an angel? He wonders. Hey, man! Why is it short 50,001? The girl shouts. Nevertheless, Jaik has already received his reward for saving a girl's life, and currently he is running along with it. At the school gate, he sees two girls who are late for school. Jaik is also late for school, so the gate is closed. He goes near the students and gives them an advice. He tells them to explain their reasons of being late to the teacher. He says that if they explain it perfectly, the teacher will understand. Both of them then try to convince the teacher near the gate by saying that they were late because there was an accident on their way here, but it won't happen in the future. Jaik leaves the girls there and jumps over the wall to reach the other side of the school, and as the teacher is already talking to the girls, he didn't even notice that Jaik jumped the wall in order to enter the school. Jaik thinks that he will do whatever it takes to avoid any losses for himself. "What are you doing here?" the teacher shouts while noticing. He then makes up a lie to avoid the teacher's attention. He tells the teacher that the students named Youngtae and Yoonjun Ho are currently eating tteokbokki in the front right now. The teacher tells the students that whoever comes late will receive a deduction in attitude score. Now that he has done something terrible, He smirks and wonders whether he is a demon now. In the classroom, the teacher announces that there is a new transfer student who will attending class today. He tells all the students to be considerate of the new student because he has come from a foreign country and doesn't know much about Korean culture yet. Scalpel enters the classroom. He greets the human kids and introduces himself as someone who emerged from the fiery pit of hell hotter than lava and is the demon's messenger. In addition, he says that, as a commemoration of coming to this school, he has prepared a gift for all of them, something that they will never be able to taste in the human world. He says that he will be giving them a taste of the hot fire from hell. "Who wants a hellfire hot sauce hell burger?" he shouts. The burger is so spicy that everybody eating it was now full of tears. He points at a bench where he wants to sit. He says that is happy to Scalpel teases Haniel. "Isn't it common courtesy to at least localize the names?" "You keep using the name Scalpel," Haniel asks. Scalpel replies that fulfilling desires is the demon's basic nature and tells her to look carefully, as no one has any complaints because it satisfies their desires. Jae-ik thinks that in just a few days a lot of things has changed. There is an angel sitting right next to him and a demon right behind him. The reason both the angel and the devil came to find Jae-ik is according to them. It was to awaken Jae-ik's abilities. Do I have no other choice but to accept this fate? He thinks deeply. He says, for example, when he goes to school, if a girl just casually says that she wants someone to destroy the school building because she doesn't want to go to the lecture, Jae-ik could easily destroy it if he masters his powers. He gives another example. He says that when he gets a job someday, and in the interview if he is told to share his specialties, then he could say that he could turn this recruitment room into a sea of fire. But in the end, what is the use of all of this? In the next scene, Scalpel tells Haniel that he has something to talk with her, so Haniel follows him. "Where are we going?" she questions. Scalpel says that he can't blow off Haniel's cover in front of the students. Haniel gets confused as she doesn't know what he meant by it. In the conclusion, Scalpel tells Haniel to give up on the hybrid. Haniel says that she expected this kind of talking, but she says that she can't give up on Jae-ik because he is the last hope that heaven has been waiting for. All right. I get it. I knew you wouldn't give up easily. As expected. You angels are so innocent, you followed without any suspicion when the demon called and ended up falling into my trap, didn't you? Scalpel asks while laughing. Scalpel binds Haniel with magic. He says that it's fortunate that the barrier he set up in the morning was successful. "Hey, what are you doing? Release me right away!" she shouts at him. Scalpel says that she has to stay like that for a while, and in the meantime, he will help Jae-ik to make his decision faster. He then goes to Yuntae, or, in another word, the Zopop. He teases Yuntae by calling him Zopop. Yuntae gets angry and tries to attack Scalpel, but he gets blocked by a barrier. Scalpel tells Yuntae that everyone now calls him a Zopop, even though everybody is saying another words like sushi, spirayati, and garden. For Yuntae, he is just hearing the word Zopop. He shouts at all of them to stop. Scalpel laughs as he says that even the girls are calling Yuntae Zopop. He gets angry and frustrated, tears comes out from his eyes, he loses all the confidence, and says that he doesn't think he can win even if he attacks Jae-ik again, as Jae-ik is a monster. Scalpel, while giving a devil's laughs, moves his hand towards Yuntae. He tells Yuntae that if he wants, he can also have that kind of power. "No way! How could this be possible?" Yuntae questions. Scalpel replies that if Yuntae makes a deal with him, then he can give Yuntae this power. "A deal? Are you saying that I have to sell my soul or something?" Zopop questions. Scalpel replies that he is not interested in such things after receiving this power. He tells Yuntae to just use it to get revenge of Jae-ik. Yuntae agrees and the deal has been finally made. After receiving the power, he feels a sudden burst of energy and aura radiating from his body. He feels omnipotent, as if he is the strongest man on Earth. Scalpel then explains that this power is not to that extent. It's more like being ranked first in the local area. "I'm no longer a Zopop?" he shouts. At the rooftop, Jayak says that his fate, the path that he needs to awaken to, is a path that has exciting career and a cool appearance that will ignite his passion. But he doesn't think this one will be of any help at all. He says that the path of being a hybrid is probably not the path he should really take and decides to choose differently. Right here at this moment, he decides to throw away the chains that bound him. Now he only has confidence. And all that's left now is victory. All that criticism and hardship. He plans to shake it off, stand up and confront the world. For him, his CSAT score is more important than useless superpowers. He will do his best to live an ordinary life, and will even reject his fate and seal his powers in order to do that. He opens the door while thinking that this is the path. He will choose. As he opens the gate, he sees Zopop with red eyes. Zopop was searching for Jayak for a long time and finally found him. "I came here to get some fresh air. Look at those red eyes. How much did you study, but could you please make way for me?" Jayak requests politely. Without wasting any time, Yuntei launches an impactful punch at Jayak. Jayak couldn't dodge it as he was not on guard. Scalpel was sitting on the ceiling, seeing and enjoying the scenario. He says that to open the waves of evil through appropriate stimulation is his own way of strategy. He smiles as he says that he hopes his strategy works out. Hanael notices a dark red aura coming from the rooftop. What the hell is going on? She wonders. On the rooftop, the punch was impactful enough to send Jayak flying, but Jayak handles himself very well and looks more like a beast himself. He tells Yuntei to stop fighting as he doesn't want to fight. Yuntei says that whether it was both in elementary or middle school, he alone was the charging one, but suddenly Jayak appears and snatches that position. He says that at that time he felt humiliated, and now he wants to become the king of the school. Yuntei rushes towards Jayak and starts to punch him. "Why are you standing still? Why don't you hit me like you did back then?" he questions. Jayak, on the contrary, is taking all the damages without flinching. He tells Yuntei to stop this at once. Yuntei is desperately punching while wondering that why even Jayak's glasses are fine. Jayak thinks that Yuntei will be mad if he knows that his attacks are only itching a bit. Scalpel says that the kid is not as good as he thought he would be. Ow! No! That clueless appearance can't be your true nature. It must be because Hanael has sown some good seeds in you. "Then shall I try to defile it this time?" he asks, while laughing his tongue out. He creates magical threads in order to control and provide more strength to Yuntei. "Ah! So much power has come into me! I can't control my strength!" Yuntei shouts as he is unable to control his own strength and body. He is busting with powers which he never has harness. He screams and his teeth and horn grows like a demon. Jayak gets puzzled and sees a punch coming right at him. This time, he also takes the punch, but it hurts a little. Yuntei smiles as he was finally successful to hurt Jaik. He then kicks and punches simultaneously. "Isn't it strange that you didn't feel any pain when you were getting beaten up like this?" he questions. He feels awesome, intrigued and excited at the same time. "Did I get him this time?" he wonders with a smirk in his face. Alas. Hanael was able to break free of the chains and comes right to the rooftop. As she enters, she sees that Scalpel is controlling Yuntei by providing his powers. She gets furious and kicks Scalpel from behind. Scalpel says that he didn't expect Hanael to break free this quickly. "Do you think you could stop me with just that level of seal?" Hanael asks. Scalpel smiles as he tells her not to be pretentious, because he can see clearly that she is panting. He says that Hanael is not like herself when she is tired while grabbing her neck. Hanael then jumps and kicks backward. She says that she can be a fool for once, but not twice because a demon's tricks are easily revealed on the second try. Oh, so you are saying you are innocent but not stupid, huh? Then what about this? He asks, while creating his binding spell. As Scalpel completely tries to bind Henniel, both of them hear Jay Ike shouting with a sudden outburst of power. He says that he doesn't need this kind of power. The power outburst was so impactful that both the demon and the angel are pushed backwards. Jay Ike says that he just wanted to live an ordinary life. Scalpel tells Henniel to watch closely, how Jay Ike's power is being liberated. Jay Ike not only has the wave of goodness she hoped for, and once Jay Ike accepts the wave of evil and unleashes its power, he will something that no one has ever seen. You want to live an ordinary life with that much power? Uni questions and tells Jay Ike that if he doesn't want that kind of power, he should give it to someone who wants it. He runs forward and punches Jay Ike, but Jay Ike's face feels more like a rock to him, and he falls down to the ground due to the impact of his own force. Ah! My hand! He screams in pain. Jay Ike then punches the ground, which deals a heavy impact and even shakes the school. The students wonders what kind of construction is being done on the roof. By seeing this, Yuntae gets horrified and keeps sweating out of fear. Jae-ik tells Yuntae that he wants to stop this because he doesn't like exerting his power like this. Scalpel sees that his prediction was perfectly correct. And as expected, Jae-ik's awakening level will surge rapidly as he enters battles. Yuntae says that he understands, and he also wants to stop here. So he says sorry to Jae-ik. Jae-ik decides to leave Yuntae and turns around as he says that school violence is bad. The moment he turned around, Yuntae reveals his true intentions and tries to attack again from the back and punches with a full power counterattack. He smiles as he thinks that this attack was a fatal one, but to his surprise, his attack didn't even left a scar on Jae-ik's body. This time, Jae-ik gets really furious. "Let's continue. Is that it you want?" he asks, while giving a death glare. On the other hand, Scalpel is excited as he sings and thinks that everything is going according to his plan. Jae-ik's awakening level is increasing gradually, along with his anger. Henniel runs towards Jae-ik in order to stop any more hazards. "Now let's see what happens to those who reject peace." "I told you to stop, didn't I?" he asks angrily. "Stop! Stop, please!" Both Henniel and Yuntae shouts. Jae-ik ready his hand for a punch. He tells Yuntae to consider this punch as a historical lesson. As he is about to punch, Henniel comes in front of him and uses her shield to block the attack. Henniel tries to stop Jae-ik by saying that this situation isn't Yuntae's fault, but he doesn't listen as anger has succumbed his actual senses. Jae-ik's awakening rate increases from 41 to 45%, and it starts to break Henniel's shield barrier. It is a dangerous situation. Henniel grabs Yuntae and flies away from the danger with her wings. Jae-ik says that after today, his peaceful life has changed. Henniel notices that Jae-ik is already on 179 degrees, but she feels relieved that it hasn't gone to 180 degrees yet. She notices that her shield can't put up with that tremendous power. Jae-ik jumps upward to attack Yuntae again. This time, Henniel uses her mega shield, but this shield also starts to break. Scalpel, sitting on the back, seeing all the commotion, says that finally it has all started, the opening of a wave of evil. Henniel says that her shield couldn't hold for much longer, so she uses her Giga shield. Oh! This is the last train runaway locomotive!" Scalpel shouts in excitement. Oh! Last train runaway locomotive is a special technique that manifests when feelings of injustice and frustration reach their peak. The power and form of the attack vary greatly depending on the caster's ability. It's a relentless fury that surfaces after reaching the end of one's patience and endurance. This is without a doubt a sign of irrational anger management disorder. Can it be stopped? He wonders. He then sees that the awakening level is spiking again. It has gone from 45 to 50%. The Giga Shield shatters and Henale again flies away while carrying our Zopop. Yunti feels like he is eternal peace as he hugs Henale tightly. Henale realizes that at this rate, J-Ike might completely be tainted by evil. She shouts at J-Ike to stop the outburst. J-Ike doesn't know what this feeling is. A warm surge rises from deep within his chest. This urge he is experiencing for the first time. This is what the awakening of the power means. A power guided by fate. His heart swells with grandeur. Then he feels that something is itching on his back. Henale has stabbed J-Ike with a straw. She says that it is the only way to prevent the outburst. J-Ike thinks that making a fuss isn't his style. Winning a brawl is trivial. True victors are those who triumph in life. So he wants to lose, or at least needs to learn how to lose. Henale barely managed to stop the outburst by using Chillman's straw. Chillman's straw is a technique that induces calmness and suppresses confusion by sticking the straw used by the ancient god, Chillman, into the opponent's mind. Scalpel shouts that it a cowardly trick to use as an angel. She replies that she couldn't, that stand still and watch J-Ike continue his outburst. "What are you doing?" Henale asks. Scalpel also uses a straw. He justifies that he also couldn't stand still and do nothing either. Suddenly, after using the straw, J-Ike again feels the sensation of anger. Scalpel J-Ike to tune it into his heart's voice. He used triple-folded straw, a technique that gradually increases the sense of deep anger. Both the angel and the devil tries to comfort and convince J-Ike in their own way. The more he thinks about it, the more angrier he gets. He also wants to beat them all up. No, why am I even angry in the first place? He wonders while getting totally confused. That's right. No, that's not right. It's not that the right thing is right. It's that what's supposed to be right is not, he shouts, and shows an act of cognitive dissonance as he is puzzled with both his actions and emotions. J-Ike realizes that he is losing himself, and the quarrel between the angel and the devil is driving him crazy. At that moment, he cools his mind and starts to think deeply. That this is not a matter of right or wrong. This power that has suddenly come to him, if he could possess this power, then this power could also be discarded, he concludes. Scalpel notices that the awakening rate is rapidly decreasing. Is reducing one's awakening progress one of a hybrid's power? Henale wonders where that limit is. It is as if J-Ike has found enlightenment, as he was able to bodily discard the power that he can't handle. Detachment. Yep, it is. Oh my God, he has mastered the legendary detachment, the ability that is said to be the strongest among those who renounce their possession. Henale shouts in excitement. The power level has completely stabilized. J-Ike goes near Yunte and precisely explains that he discarded the unnecessary power and gained a new one. Yunte, are you okay? He asks. He says that they shouldn't fight like this. Instead, he advises Yunte to study hard from now in order to go to a good university together. The thing we are now seeing is the power of positively. Alas, both of them became friends. In the back, Henale says that either way, she is relieved that it ended on a heartwarming note, while on the contrary, Scalpel gets furious because he didn't expect that J-Ike will give up his power like that. Henale smiles as he thinks that, even in such a mess, it's remarkable that J-Ike can build up the power of positivity. And as expected, he truly has the qualities of an angel. Scalpel now knows an important fact about hybrids. He analyzed that all hybrids may have the power to control their awakening rate at their own will. At the bus stop, J-Ike tells Yunte that they should meet each other warmly next time. Zopop agrees and says that he is gonna jot down what happened today in his diary. He will cherish and never forget what happened today. After some time, Jae-ik reaches home and greets his parents with a smile. "You're here. Anything special happen? Have you eaten?" Both of them ask upon witnessing the smiling face of Jae-ik. He speaks that he realized a lot today. He says thank you for their love and care for all this time. He announces that he will strive to do better and live more fully from now on. His dad smiles while his mom gets angry as she finds out that Scalpel failed on his job to awaken the devil luring inside Jae-ik. His father gets happy upon seeing that Jae-ik is brimming with a wave of good now. Jae-ik's mother realizes that this won't do, and she has no other choice but to take action. She brings out a cell phone and says that it's been a long time since she has taken this out. She wishes that she didn't have to bring it out again, but this type of circumstances calls for it. Hell, the world make it better place. The music rings on the phone and some fearsome entity picks up the call. "What is it, servant? Contact is prohibited during missions." "So why did you call me?" the unknown entity asks. She replies that we'll use the call chance and says that Scalpel is too inexperienced to handle the target. The anonymous devil replies that this is a good reason for using the call chance, so he will accept it. Additionally, he informs that we'll send someone more suitable soon to carry out the job. In the endlessly deep abyss, at the very bottom of hell, the lowest level of the abyss, a prisoner in the farthest room of infinite hell, it annihilates anything in its sight, also known as the destroyer of hell. One of the devil goes to meet him and calls him the Dark Satan. The devil says that finally the liberation has come. So he tells the Dark Satan to go up to the surface that he wanted so much to deceive and trample those he sees to his heart's content. Sounds pretty interesting, liberation, you say? Huh? The Dark Satan asks. At Jae-ik's home, the news of the arrival of the Satan-class threat reaches his dad. "So they sent a Satan-class threat for this?" Jae-ik's dad questions. His mom replies, "They can't afford any more delays. 19 years have already passed, and the previous method isn't working. This is the best decision. Our mission wasn't to hurt Jae-ik." "What if something happens to Jae-ik because of this?" his dad asks, while keeping his hand on his pretending wife's shoulder. His wife gets angry as she grabs and starts to bend one of his fingers. She reminds him that Jae-ik was just a ward they were looking after for the mission. So he must approach this with unnecessary human sentimentality, because the moment he starts thinking about affection and familial love, his resolve will weaken. After that, Jae-ik's dad pulls back his finger and both of them start to shout. "What if Jae-ik overhears all of this?" his dad shouts. At that moment, Jae-ik enters. "Just now, what do you mean by that?" he questions while being extremely puzzled about the current situation. At the same time, Hell's 6th-class Demon Legion destroyer of stage Mercurochrome makes his entry into the world of the living. It's been a while since he has felt the outside air. "Grrrr! I'm overflowing with power! This is what being alive feels like," he shouts. According to him, this place is like heaven, which he wants to smash to stir up chaos, but he suddenly hears a voice in his head telling him that, "It's too soon, Mercurochrome. Your special pardon is only applied to missions of subduing the Apex Hybrid and bringing him back to the awakened stage. If you meet that condition, you can unleash as much destruction as you like." After hearing this, he says that typical demons always tend to attack conditions, but he decides to take it as a condition he could handle. He says that he will start with the boy who will become the Apex Hybrid fast, and he wants to destroy him because they never said to bring that boy alive. "Oh, big fella, don't block the road, move! Do you own the road or something? Don't jaywalk!" A person driving a car in the road shouts at Mercurochrome. Mercurochrome gets angry and starts to accumulate energy at his spear to unleash an attack. He says that anyone who will stand in his way will be smashed to bits as he swings his spears. Additionally, he says that he doesn't believe in any so-called legends, as legends tend to be exaggerated and inflated, and especially since Jae-ik is a novice yet to awaken, he assumes that he will easily smash it, and with this, Mercurochrome wants to rewrite the legend by saying the legend was wrong. At Jae-ik's home, "Are you saying that I'm not your real child?" he asks, while making a confusing yet sad expression. Both of his parents try to dodge the questions by making some excuses. Jae-ik's mom tells him that he must have heard it wrong, since his mom was summarizing the drama she watched yesterday. "Tell me, Dad!" Jae-ik shouts in frustration. His dad lies on the ground, asking for forgiveness. "So, Dad is not my biological father? And Mom, she's not my real mother either?" he asks sadly. Both of his parents realize that lying won't work on this kid now. Jae-ik, while releasing his aura, says to them to tell him everything, how he was born and even how all of this happened. His mom starts to explain that a very long time ago, there was a great war between heaven and hell. The war, sparked by differing ideologies, raged on for a millennium. This millennium-long war eventually lost its purpose, turning into a meaningless fight with unending sacrifices, bestowing nothing but destruction and despair upon both heaven and hell. The angels and demons, exhausted from the continuous strife, finally devised a solution to conclude the war. They chose a representative from each side to engage in a one-on-one duel, deciding the outcome of the war and agreeing to accept the result gracefully. Isn't this too much? Can't you summarize it in about 5 lines? "What does my birth have to do with this?" Jae-ik asks. His mom tells him to hold on because the main story is just getting started. The chosen representatives were the archangel Seraphim for the angels and the great demon Baal for the demons. Keeping everything from the 1,000-year war at stake, the death match started. That was the renowned duel of the Valhalla Canyon. "How dare you casually mention the name of the archangel? Is Seraphim your friend?" Jae-ik's dad asks while interrupting the flow of the story. Jae-ik grabs his father's mouth while telling him not to intervene. At that battle, "Seraph, is this our first time going head-to-head? How about a cup of coffee before we fight?" the great demon Baal asked as he tried to tease Seraphim. Seraphim, on the contrary, says that she will purify his foul mouth with the power of light, and thus their battle commenced with the pride of angels and demons on the line. Their strife persisted, with no one showing signs of defeat. There seemed to be no end in sight. That's how they ended up fighting for another 1,000 years. Both of them realized that the fight which was started in order to end the war is increased because they have expended the battles for 1,000 years. Seraphim said that at this rate, they both will end up dying. The demon Baal agrees with her and suggests that they should avoid unnecessary exhaustion, so they both decided to settle the battle with their ultimate moves. The angel used the power of compassion. She says that she will transcend everything through love. On the other hand, the demon Baal used the power of greed, the strength to humble oneself before what one desires. The angel's attack was driven by goodwill, while the demon's attack was driven by malice. The collision shook that area, and in that moment, something unthinkable occurred. From compassion, the calm fell away, and from greed, the gree fell away. Something no one could have predicted. The emotion of love and passion arose. The two words from the ultimate techniques surprisingly harmonized with each other. Both the enemies started to have feelings for each other, a feeling that they could never have experienced until now. Even the angels and demons observing the battle began to question their own sight. "We've been battling all this while, haven't we, Baal?" Seraphim asks as she gets close to Baal while blushing. Baal replies, saying, "Indeed, but now it seems to be a time for them to build something." It was destined to unfold this way from the start. One of the angels tells them to keep their distance from each other, while two of the demons shout at the angel to stop the music he is playing. Despite everyone's disapproval, they couldn't halt their intense passion as both of their lips touched each other. They forgot everything about the world for that moment. All the angels and the devils tried to stop them, but they couldn't. They started doing this and that, and in the end, they started doing that. Stop! How far are you planning to narrate this story? Jae-ik is still underage, his dad shouts while blocking Jae-ik's ear. His mom replies that he is already 19, so it's foolish to remain ignorant. Additionally, she says that if they keep things hushed, like this, kids may end up with misconceptions. Finally, Jae-ik got to know the secret of his birth, but he is still quite puzzled. As he tries to escape that area, his dad stops him saying that there's more to the secret. In the meantime, the previously seen trio appears in front of Mercurochrome. "Don't stand in my way," Mercurochrome shouts. He again repeats himself, but the boss of the group tries to act cool. "Do you think I would listen to that?" the short man replies. "Hey there, big guy. Would you mind stepping aside? Don't you know who my big brother is, and yet you still dare block the way?" two of the boys ask. His big brother, who is actually the little one in size, tells them to stop as it seems that the big guy is new around here, so he suggests to give the guy some guidance. Mercurochrome, without lingering, punches the two in front, which creates a huge impact as they fly away, stirring up the wind. "Don't stand in my way," Mercurochrome repeats himself. The little guy gets angry as he asks that since a man should have some pride, whether it is all right if he stands beside Mercurochrome. Mercurochrome agrees that standing beside him is all right. "Why? Imp, how do I get to Happy Apartments?" he asks. The short guy replies that they can get there by taking a turn down this alley while pointing at the alley. After hearing this, Mercurochrome takes out his spear and smashes the building. He says that in his books there's no such thing as taking turns. For him, it is always straightforward. He says that if there is no road, then he will just build one because that is the way of the strong. For the first time, the short guy named Ushi Jim saw what true strength is, and since he thinks of him as a little demon, he intends to follow the big and strong. He is a man who is attracted to strength because he is a man who gives credit where credit is due. He again stands in front of Mercurochrome. Mercurochrome again warns him not to stand here. Ushi Jim bows down in front of Mercurochrome. "Hello, I will be your guide. Is it okay if I stand below you?" he asks. The demon replies that below is fine. Ushi Jim, who has now become a GPS, tells the demon to go straight for 500 meters. At Jae-ik's home, he asks whether there is still more to the story that he doesn't know of. His mom replies that they haven't told Jae-ik why he is so important and why is he considered significant just by being born yet. His dad volunteers to explain it properly so that Jae-ik can understand. He starts to explain by saying that news about a child born between Seraphim and Baal spread like wildfire in both heaven and hell. It stirred up thoughts of the ultimate Abraxas legend that was only passed down in ancient prophecies. Does the legendary, supremely powerful apex hybrid truly exist? Will a human at the age of 19 truly undergo an initial awakening and afterward achieve an unbeatable apex hybrid status after the grand awakening? If so, will this be on the side of the angels or the demons? The supremely powerful apex hybrid is just a legend inscribed in ancient texts. Where is the guarantee that he will indeed become an apex hybrid? Countless questions like these arose. The demons tried to take the child by saying that as the angels didn't believe the legend of the apex hybrid, they are not entitled to that power. The angels blamed the demons for talking nonsense and disagreed with their judgment. The angels denied it, by saying that as the child was born through the power of love, the angels should be the one taking care of him. The demons replied that the child is a product of passion, something unattainable by love alone. So the child will undoubtedly grow into a manifestation of desire and will along with the demons. While sharing this story, both of his parents, one who is an angel and the other who is a demon, starts to argue with each other in the name of heaven and hell. Jae-ik says that he had enough of the theatrics, so he tells them to cut to the chase. The demons suggested creating a contract, as an angel's words can't be trusted, and the angels agreed as they said that contracts don't lie demons. The contract was signed, and according to it, angels and demons will each assign a guardian to oversee and facilitate the child's growth. Until the child reaches the age of 19, any interference from angels and demons other than the guardians is prohibited. And so, leaving Jae-ik behind, a contract was drafted for the first time in the history of angels and demons. His mom is the guardian specified in the contract from the demon's side, and his dad is the guardian from the angel's side, and both of them raised Jae-ik on their behalf. Jae-ik finally understands that everything was a lie and realizes why Hanael and Scalpel appeared out of nowhere in his life. He shouts angrily that all his life up to this point was nothing but a lie. The angel guardian gets behind the demon's back. He tells Jae-ik not to be angry. The demon guardian replies that regardless, there's nothing they can do, and once Mercurochrome arrives, all of this will be over. At the same time, Ushi is leading Mercurochrome to the correct destination. He informs that they'll reach their destination as soon as they cross this crosswalk. Mercurochrome replies that the mention of crossing reminds him of his time in hell, when he had to cross the Styx River with nothing but his bare body. From that moment on, he had feared nothing. As Mercurochrome is walking the crossroad, a bus comes near and is about to hit him. He turns the bus upside down and says that it only tickled. Ushi witnesses as he falls in love with Mercurochrome's seemingly omnipotent power. Mercurochrome tells Ushi to lead the way. In the next moment, Hanael notices the Satan-class demon up from the sky. She says that she can't believe that demons actually sent a Satan-class demon, but it's expected from the low lives like the demons. Scalpel agrees with Hanael. He says that it's a bit too much, and the demons also requested reinforcements without even consulting him. But it's a pretty solid strategy, so Scalpel can't really object. He figured out that the demons are launching a psychological attack on Jae-ik from the inside, and then Satan comes in to finish the job in one fell swoop. You call yourself a guardian. Where in the world have you been till now, and how do you plan to protect Jae-ik then? He asks Hanael. He says that Jae-ik has been deeply wounded in his heart, and soon his body will be severely injured as well. At Jae-ik's home, anger is taking over him because now he knows the truth, that in the end he was treated not as a person, but a mere object. Mercurochrome, standing right outside Jae-ik's apartment, feels the wave of evil triggered by the sense of anger from a specific flat. He gets happy, pats Ushi's head, and says that he will make Ushi his subordinate when this mission is complete after gaining his freedom. He shouts that they will wreak havoc on this human world together as he jumps upward. At that moment, Hanael comes flying, and in order to black the demon, she uses Terra Shield, but it is ineffective as Mercurochrome easily shatters it into pieces. He says that the likes of him can't be stopped by a mere guardian angel. Hanael falls on the ground as she can't keep up her shield any longer. The demon breaks into Jae-ik's home. He laughs at Jae-ik, as he says that he feels sorry for Jae-ik to have such a small body, and he also feels sorry to hit a small person. He tells Jae-ik to watch as he creates a legend by taking down this apex hybrid in one fell swoop. "What are you laughing at?" Jae-ik asks as he rushes to punch the Satan-class demon. Mercurochrome. feels that Jae-ik's hands are tiny, yet powerful enough, as he falls on the ground. Jae-ik forgot what he was about to say, and he blames mercurochrome for it. Previously, when mercurochrome jumped, Ushi-jim thought that the summer of his life has arrived, marking the time when he finally met a wonderful man. It felt like a blessing, a treasure he discovered in the innocence of youthful summer. It was as if he had found an unbreakable diamond, but after seeing mercurochrome falling in just one punch, he turns his back on mercurochrome, saying that he prefers winter more than summer. The Guardian feels like he can't take it anymore and tries to run away, but Jae-ik starts to stop him by releasing a green aura. The Guardian Angel says that he has done everything he could do and his mission is now complete. The Guardian Demon tells Jae-ik to come back to his senses. Both of them then start to attack Jae-ik by jumping. The Guardian Angel says that, still, they do have affection for Jae-ik. After all, they're the ones who raised him. The Guardian Demon asks whether Jae-ik will disintegrate them, because they're just servants, a servant assigned to take care of him until he turns 19. Jae-ik's dad shouts at his mom while telling her not to stir things up further. Jae-ik, do you remember when Dad used to give you piggyback rides? His dad asks while sweating and sheds tears when he says that he worked hard regardless, as if Jae-ik were his real child. His mom, on the other hand, blames his dad for adding the fuel in the fire, and like this, they start to quarrel with each other, and things reach to divorce, and both of them decide to sign the divorce paper. Jae-ik shouts that he wants to see no one fighting or quarreling in front of him. Both the Guardians say sorry to Jae-ik. In the meantime, Scalpel and Henael were seeing all the incidents from the window. Scalpel notices that the awakening level has spiked again. He sees that Jae-ik is already manipulating the awakening level as he pleases. Scalpel guesses that's a basic skill for the Apex hybrid. Henael says that more importantly, things have gotten out of hand and there are many witnesses. The people in that area are wondering whether anyone died because they saw that someone was falling, and some of them also considered calling the police. Henael realizes that they can't let people discover their true identities, including Jae-ik's. They need to restore the city and erase people's memories. Scalpel wishes her good luck on that. He says that he is more of a destroyer than a restorer. Henael gets really pissed as she kicks Scalpel and orders him to clean up the trash. Henael doesn't understand why she always has to clean up the mess that these demons recklessly create. To restore a situation of this magnitude, even if she uses all her energy, it might not be enough. But she has to at least try, because in her opinion, even if her body breaks, angels have to fulfill their duties. She starts to use the power of the Great Restoration to restore the city completely. On the contrary, Scalpel is clearing up the trash, otherwise known as the Satan-class demon. He criticizes the angel for being foolish because Henael is using her power to erase the memory of the people who will eventually age and die. In his perspective, why should someone put so much effort into erasing the memories of mere mortals? He then opens up a portal to send Mercurochrome to hell and tells him to say hi to Lucifer on his behalf. After some time, the restoration was done, and the cracks were all gone, and the people also started forgetting their memories of this incident, and some of the people think of it as a nightmare. All these restoration and erasing the memories took a huge toll of Henael's body as she starts to fall from the shy, but Scalpel catches her in the perfect time. "Are you into self-harm scams or something?" he asks Henael, who is currently fainting due to exhaustion. He says that Henael is a tiresome woman who is fainting, and in this state, if he let her fall into hell, he will have one less rival. He laughs as he says that Henael might have forgotten that he is a demon as she dared to faint in front of him. He says that it is the end for her, while throwing her into hell. At Jae-ik's home, he picks up the family photo and wonders How has he lived until now and not noticed even once that all of these photos were fake? The piggyback rides, the amusement park, the picnics, the hot spring trips, even the Halloween parties. Everything until now was a lie, he cries as he processes the hardcore truth of his life in his mind. Did you really have to deceive me like that, with every detail so meticulously planned? He asks his pretend parents while crying. He was feeling anger, yet sadness at the same time. The demon guardian replies that they had no other option but to do it, because the moment they were found out, it would have been the end of their lives. Ye-ik thinks that he never doubted, not even once, the fact that they weren't his real parents, and it was not just him, but no one around him even noticed. At that moment, he realizes that if nobody noticed, including him, it can only mean one thing. That means they've raised me well, right? He thinks deeply in his mind. He starts to walk towards the guardians and holds both of their hands. He says thanks for raising him well. He states that the fact that no one has noticed or thought it was strange until now means that they raised him as well as any other parents. So Jae-ik suggests that they should continue being his mom and dad. After hearing this, both of them start to shout. They say that there is no need for that, because Jae-ik grew up on his own without being properly raised, and they also state that there are just contracted servants who simply worked hard, and they couldn't possibly do anything that would weigh on their conscience in their angelic and demonic life. They say that they don't want to work overtime and tell Jae-ik to forget all the past memories. Jae-ik grabs their hands tightly. He tells them that from now on, they will be staying here, with him. Both of them feel the pain in their hands. Jae-ik gets angry as he bites his tongue and tells them again to just keep on being his parents, as they have been, because he doesn't want to break up this family. His mom says that it's hurting while grabbing his father's hair due to the pain. At hell, a demon comes to free a prisoner. The prisoner says that it's his turn now. He says that he will commence his attack, and it will be a counterattack, so wishes the opponent to be extra careful. Both the demon and the prisoner are having a chat. The demon tells the prisoner to not waste his talent and suggests him to work in hell. "Are you trying to corrupt me?" the prisoner asks. He checks the level of his corruption using a thing like a compass. He sees that the color is still blue, and once it turns red, he will lose all of his angel qualifications. The prisoner is also known as the 3TN Order Archangel, Azrael, who is on the verge of corruption. The demon, who is Hell's strategic headquarters negotiator named Negojom, offers Azrael a position of strategic deputy commander of Hell's army. Additionally, he says that there are 5,000 miscellaneous mobs attached below it, and if Azrael agrees to come to Hell now, he'll appoint Azrael right away. After hearing the offer, Azrael tells Negojom to prepare another 5,000 minions. Negojom wants to negotiate, but Azrael refuses by saying that he is different from other angels, and he will not move unless there's a profit to make. He says that if he is going to fall from grace, it should be under good conditions, and once he becomes a demon, even if he falls, there's nowhere lower for him to go. Moreover, he says that he will sign the contract the moment he falls from grace, and when the 1,000 minions are prepared as proposed. Lastly, he says that as an angel, he still has duties left which he needs to complete and leaves that area. After some time, as he walks in Hell, he says that every time he comes to Hell, it's always a mess, although a little bit of remodeling would do this place wonders. He tells them to install some streetlights at least, and also, the strong sulfur smell is unbearable, according to him. It's a complete disaster. While walking, he comes across two demons. The demons notice that it's an angel and start to attack him. Azrael deals with them swiftly. He sighs as he says that these demons don't even recognize the person who will serve Hell later. He kicks one of the demons backwards and another one upwards. He again kicks the small demon whom he threw upwards a moment ago. He notices that there's even a drunkard collapsed on the ground. He points out that anyone can see that it's a true hell here. At that moment, he saw an angel falling from the sky, and that angel was none other than Hanael. He thinks that Hanael might be a fallen angel, but he wonders what could have gone wrong for an angel to fall into hell. He then notices that this angel is the Apex Hybrid's appointed guardian angel. Does landing here mean they failed their mission? Does that mean I, who was appointed next, have a high chance of being summoned? He thinks deeply. In the next scene, we see Valhalla Canyon, a nearby small valley. In the past, Ninth Order Angel Civil Servant Aesthetic Cephacross was waiting in the waiting room for aspiring actors. Hello? Is this the waiting room for aspiring actors? Hell's 7th class. Demon Servant, Demon Intern, Demoniac asks. Both of them got shocked to see each other as an angel and a demon. At the time an announcement was made, the judge congratulated both of them on passing the document review. He said that from now on, they will have to go to the human world and act as a parent until the child grows up. The human world. Can we put on a proper performance in the human world where mortals are crawling around? Demoniac questioned. Cephacross agrees by saying that he wants to become a comedy actor, not a tragedy one. The person told them to listen to the end. He said that if they act for just 19 years, both of them will be brought back to heaven and hell, and after completing the mission, they will have the qualifications of regular angels and demons, not low-level demons and low-level angels. Moreover, depending on their acting skills, they will even receive additional points that will put them ahead of others in future promotions. Alas, both of them agreed in a heartbeat, and this is how they volunteered for the mission, but it turned out to be an extreme job. J-Ik looks at the news and laughs and says that it's so enjoyable to have a meal together as a family. Cephacross tries to run away by making an excuse to bring water for his thirsty son. J-Ik throws a chair at the wall in order to scare Cephacross. He says that he doesn't want water. Demoniac tells Cephacross to stay still and not to cause any trouble. Cephacross says that his body is floating anyway, so he has no choice but to stay still. He says that feels good as it's comfortable when J-Ik is being considerate of his dad again. J-Ik compliments his mom for making the fish cake as a side dish, which is actually really delicious. Demoniac replies that she actually ordered it and she can order it again if he wants. He says that he didn't clean his room today, so he tells his mom to please scold him by saying that the one who creates the mess should be the one to clean it up. His proxy mom replies that she wouldn't dare to scold an Apex Hybrid who is making a mess. She tells him that he can make a mess as freely as he wishes. After hearing this, J-Ik gets angry. He says that he wants to keep their family happy and tells them to cooperate a bit. After dinner, both the proxy parents are washing the plates. Demoniac says that the demon's plan failed because J-Ik even managed to take down Mercurochrome in one shot. Cephacross tells her not to worry because this time he secretly asked heaven for help. What kind of help can we get when even someone at Satan's level is being taken down in one shot? She asks. Then she sees a devilish expression coming out from an angel. At the same time, in heaven, Azrael carried Hanael to heaven. What's happening? Am I dead? Why am I in heaven? Hanael asks as she regains her senses. Azrael replies that it's natural for an angel to come to heaven, and as Hanael used up all of her powers because of a human, he regards her as very kind, yet a bit lacking. Hanael recognizes him as the First Order Archangel named Iriel. Azrael lies that he is not Iriel, and Iriel is his twin brother. At that moment, a higher-up angel announces from the sky that Iriel is no longer a First Order Archangel. He has become a Third Order fallen angel Azrael. Originally a First Order Archangel, but demoted to Third Order due to internal corruption because he almost lost his archangel status, but was allowed to retain his angelic rank as a matter of courtesy. The higher-up angel says that lately, he has been hearing strange rumors about Azrael, There's information that he is league with hell. Azracel replies that he was only there a few times for covert operations. Are you an archangel, collecting humans' wishes and selling them to demons? Azracel replies that it's just like being a white hat hacker. By the way, did you summon me to talk about this? He questions. The angel says that, as of now, Azracel will descend to the human world to assist in the awakening of the apex hybrid and bring them to heaven. Azracel says that he had a hunch, but he didn't expect this mission to come to him. Hanael asks the angel for the reason to send Azracel because this mission was supposedly hers. The angel replies that Hanael has failed her mission. As a result, from this moment on, she is to return to heaven and be confined in a special prison. A special prison, Hanael repeats. In the human world, Jaik is walking on the street, while thinking that he has protected his family, and now he is truly going to live a completely ordinary life, as if nothing ever happened. He then sees that the sky is changing color. Huh? What is this? What is happening to the sky? He wonders and has a strange, ominous feeling about it. It's like what he witnessed previously, and he has a hunch that there's going to be another transfer student. After that, we can see the fallen angel Azracel gets admitted to Jaik's school. He gets in the classroom and introduces him to everyone. He tells all the students that they can freely call his Azra. After the introduction section is over, Azracel points his finger to the seat behind Jaik and tells that from today he will sit there. Jaik, seeing this new transfer student, and he feels very ominous feeling. Azracel then goes to his seat, and before sitting down, he says hello to Jaik, and directly asked if he is the apex hybrid. Hearing this, Scalpel gives an angry looks and asked Azracel that who told him to sit here. Azracel smiles and replies that he couldn't care less about a demon who's lost his touch. He also says that he is here because of this friend of his. Jaik then turns back and asked Azracel about Hanael. Ah, are you talking about that poor guardian? Azracel replies. Scalpel intervenes and tells that he has torn Hanael into pieces and sent her off to hell, and from now on they won't be seeing her face again. Torn to pieces? I found her passed out after her fall to hell and brought her back to heaven. She's likely detained in heaven's special prison by now, Azracel says. After that, we can see that Hanael is currently staying in the Heaven's Paradise special prison. She is resting on a lounger beside a swimming pool. She feels bored as she has nothing to do. At that time, a bald waiter comes and serves her an orange drink. She has been sentenced to live here for 20 years, and also she has to eat and drink continuously. She then looks at the girls in the pool and pities them for being sentenced to do this for 30 years. She then starts to drink and thinks that how long she has to be locked up here. Now, back to the classroom, the teacher is about to start the class. But before starting, he warns the students that if any phone rings during class, it will be confiscated with no exceptions. At the back, we can see Azracel is mocking Scalpel for tells lies whenever he opens his mouth. Scalpel feels annoyed as he didn't expect that Hanael will meet Azracel so soon. Jaik seems sad after hearing this, as he and Hanael was getting closer. After a while, Scalpel thinks something. He asked Azracel that, how can he go to hell as angels don't go there? Azracel replies that he occasionally goes there for business purposes. Scalpel gets shocked. Hearing this, so he asked Azracel that if he is a fallen angel. Hearing this, Azracel gets a bit nervous. He tells Scalpel that he hasn't fallen yet. He then takes a gauge meter from his pocket and feels relief, seeing that the meter is still in blue. Scalpel starts to feel weird, as an even strange guy has come. Azracel then asked Scalpel that if Jaik is really the apex hybrid, as he looks like an ordinary human. Scalpel replies that Jaik is human, but not as naive as he might think. While the two of them are talking, Jaik feels disturbed, so he turns around and tells them to keep quiet, as they are loud so everyone will hear them. The two of them ignores Jaik and continues their talk. Scalpel tells Azracel that Jae-ik is astoundingly powerful, and he can even control his strength at will. Azracel tells that he wants to test Jae-ik's skill, and saying this, he starts to take out the gun that is on his leg. How do you plan to test him? He crushed the destroyer of hell, Mercurochrome, in a single punch. No matter how much of an archangel you are, you might find it tough to go against him. Scalpel tells this to Azracel. Azracel points the gun at Jae-ik. Scalpel gets scared and tells him to hold on as this is a bit too much. At that time, Jae-ik turns around and tells them to stop their mouth. As Jae-ik turns, Azracel fires the gun. Due to the huge sound, everyone in the class looks at them. As the gun fires, Jae-ik stops the bullet with his hand and gets angry and tells them that they are so loud that it's disturbing his studies. Seeing this, both Scalpel and Azracel get shocked. The sound also grabs the teacher's attention, but he thinks that it is a phone ringtone, so tells the class to bring the phone to him. Outside the classroom, we can see two students are talking in the hallway. The healthy guy tells Tae that he has been acting weird these days. Tae gets angry and says that what is he saying? The healthy tells Tae that he has been acting like best friends with Jae-ik after he beat him up. After that, the healthy pads Tae's head, tells that he never knew that he has been hiding such a soft side of his. Tae tells him to cut it out. He then thinks of Jae-ik and says that he is a good kid. Hearing this, the healthy gets angry and starts to shout at Tae. Azracel hears them talking and he goes towards Fatty and wraps his arm around his shoulder and says, "Who's talking about demotion here? And what's this about falling from grace? It seems we have a friend here who's a bit of an underdog. Why are you starting a fight with him?" Tae ignores Azracel and asked Fatty that what harm did he cause him by becoming friends with Jae-ik. You can't just meddle in personal disputes. These guys run this school. Their bond is built on mutual respect and loyalty. Scalpel comes and says this. Seeing Scalpel, Fatty gets scared, and he tells them that Tai used to torment the school, but now he is acting like a saint. After that, Azracel takes out his blue wings and tells them that he is an angel who solves disputes among humans and lends an ear to their troubles. Normally, he shouldn't interfere in human conflicts, but would they like to try a forbidden solution today? Tae gets confused and asked for the forbidden solution. After that, Azracel starts to analysis and then research. After doing this, he gives the solution, but the solution didn't make any sense to the others. Later, Scalpel tells that they should not interfere with human emotions in a human way. Scalpel then uses his demon whispers on Fatty and provokes him to fight with Tae. Seeing this, Azracel tells Scalpel that the thing he has done now is called manipulation. Scalpel replies, "No," and says that he merely gave an opportunity for social climbing that was hindered by friendship. Azracel then uses his retweet of support magic and provoke Tai to fight Fatty. After that, the two of them starts fighting from Fatty's, and Tae's point of view they are fighting like pros. But Scalpel and Azracel gets bored by seeing this as the fight looks so lame from their point of view. In that time, Jae-ik arrives at the scene. He sees that two people are brawling in the hallway. He goes towards them and grabs both of their shoulder with his both hands. He then raises them in the sky and tells them that if they do this here, they will disturb other people. After saying this to them, he goes to Scalpel and Azracel and shouts at them, as because of them, the teacher takes his phone and he has to go through a lot to get it back. After shouting at them, Jae-ik goes to the classroom to take his notes. Azracel then tells Scalpel that Jae-ik looks like a normal human kid, and when he fired the gun at him, Jae-ik didn't show any kind of awakening. Scalpel then tells him that Jae-ik's current awakening level is only 50%. And in the end, if he is not fully 100% awakened, both of their missions are doomed to fail. Scalpel also says that he tried various things to increase it, but it wasn't as easy as it seems. Azracel tells that the critical moment usually hits when someone has something precious to protect. I wonder what Jae-ik considers most precious. Hearing this, Scalpel tells that recently, Jae-ik found out that his parents are fake, but even then he has chosen to accept them as his real family. After hearing this, Scalpel gets that the weaknesses of Jae-ik is his parents. So he suggests Scalpel that what if they target Jae-ik's parents? Hearing this, Fatty Tay and Scalpel get shocked. Azracel now explains Scalpel his plan. Azracel intends to take Jae-ik's parents, and if Jae-ik notices that his parents are under threat, he will surely come to rescue them, and in this process, if Jae-ik's parents gets hurt, and if Jae-ik sees this, his awakened powers would explode with unbearable anger. Hearing the plan, Scalpel tells Azracel that messing with Jae-ik's family is a bit too much. Why? Didn't you want to hasten the awakening by stirring up the wave of evil more than anyone else? And they're not even his real parents anyway. Azracel gives a deadly look and says this. The other two students hear Azracel's plan and thinks that he is Satan, as the plan is really vicious. Scalpel also gets nervous by hearing the plan. He then asked Azracel that who is he, as his tactics is more demonic than a demon, and an angel will never use such demonic tactics. Of course, an angel should never do such a thing. Such despicable tactics are only suitable for demons. Azracel tells this to Scalpel. He further says that he cannot do this job, as if he does it his gauge might turn red. So he tells Scalpel to execute this plan and all the credit will belong to him. Scalpel makes a scary face and asked Azracel that if he is trying to give all the hard to him. On the other hand, we can see Jae-ik is walking towards his home. While walking, he thinks about Azracel. As Jae-ik now has a harmonious family, he wants to take care of them so that no harm comes to them. As Jae-ik is walling, two men in black suits stops him and asked help from him. They asked Jae-ik to show them the bus. Stop. Jae-ik turns around and points his finger and tells them to go in that direction. At that time, one of the men launched an attack at Jae-ik. Jae-ik dodges it easily. The man then jumps backwards, and we can see the man has huge and sharp claws. The man then jumps towards Jae-ik at lightning speed. Seeing this, Jae-ik also takes a fighting stand, and he gently taps the man, and the man bursts, and Balak liquid comes out of the man's body. Jae-ik gets shocked to see that a gentle tap from him explodes the man. Seeing this, the other guy takes off his helmet and throws it at Jae-ik. Seeing this coming, so he just swings his hand to avoid it. But as the helmet hits his hand, it also explodes. Jae-ik get confused to see that the attacks are so weak. Now, as the helmet is removed, we can see that the man is not a human, as he has a lizard face. The lizard man starts to shake in fear, as he didn't expect Jae-ik to be so strong. Jae-ik looks at the lizard man and finds his face ugly and says that he is just a typical low-level mob. The tour name of the lizard man is Zop Mob. This species is a very common lowest-level monsters in hell. The Zop Mob gets so afraid that it starts to run away. The direction in which the Zop Mob run is where Jae-ik's house. Seeing this, Jae-ik panics and starts to run towards his house. Jae-ik rushes to his house and shouts for his parents, but he finds that no one is at home. He then looks around and sees that a note is stick on the fridge. Jae-ik quickly garbs the note, but the language in which the note was written is unknown for Jae-ik. As Jae-ik is looking at the note at that time, a Zop Mob launches a sneak attack on Jae-ik. As the Zop Mob attacks, Jae-ik just swings his hand and it hits the Zop Mob's helmet and breaks it. The Zop Mob also explodes, and black ink gets on Jae-ik's hand. Jae-ik is still unaware of the Zop Mob, and he thinks that it was a mosquito. After that, another Zop Mob holding a sword tries to attack Jae-ik. But this time, Jae-ik notices him, and by using his telekinesis power, he rises the Zop Mob in the sky and tells it to interpret the letter. The Zop Mob then takes the letter and starts to read. Your mom and dad have been kidnapped. If you want to find them, listen carefully to what I am about to say. Hearing this, Jae-ik gets angry and garbs the Zop Mob's collar and asked him that where did they take his parents. Due to the power of Jae-ik, the Zop Mob dies and explodes. The black ink gets all over him, but he is upset as he didn't get all of his answers. At that time, another Zop mob appears, and Jae-ik quickly uses his telekinesis powers and takes control over the Zop mob's body. He angrily asked the Zop mob that Ho staged this kidnapping. The Zop mob replies that they are demons and they won't sell their own kind. Hearing this, Jae-ik asked him that if Scalpel has sent them. The Zop mob replies that he won't tell him. After that, Jae-ik throws his school bag and gives some options, and asked the Zop mob that who sent him. The Zop mob then finally tells Jae-ik that Scalpel is the one. Hearing this, Jae-ik gets more angry as he feels that Scalpel has betrayed him and how dare he touches his family. Out of anger, Jae-ik garbs the neck of Zop mob and kills it. Jae-ik gets that he failed to control his power, and his eyes are glowing. After that, he clams down a bit and adjusts his glasses and remembers that he forget to ask where they took his mom and dad. Jae-ik then starts to search for any other left over Zop mobs. We can see that there is one Zop mob still hiding. This is the Zop mob that runs away from Jae-ik before. Jae-ik uses his powers and finds the last Zop mob. He uses telekinesis and drags the Zop mob in front of him. Jae-ik then wipes his face with a napkin and tells the Zop mob to tell him that where did they took his parents, or else he will see a bloodbath. The Zop mob starts to sweat out of fear, and he shows Jae-ik the location on his phone. Jae-ik watched the location carefully, and he again gets angry and starts to radiate his immense power. As he shouts, his aura outbursts, and from that alone, the Zop mob gets killed. After that, we can see in a ruined building, Jae-ik's parents are held captivate. We can see that Ushi Jim and his team is also there. Jae-ik's mom and dad tells Jim to quickly kill them. Because as they die, they will be able to leave this human world. As they are happily fantasizing their dead, at that time, Jae-ik comes there to save them. Seeing Jae-ik, both his parents gets upset behind them. Scalpel is watching this as he says that everything is going as planned. Azracel is also watching this with Scalpel. Scalpel says that Azracel's prediction is impressive as Jae-ik comes so quickly to rescue his parents. It's just human nature. They're wired to react quickly when their desire for revenge is triggered. Azracel tells this to Scalpel. He also further praises Scalpel for involving a human in this. Scalpel replies to Azracel that he is a demon, and there's no way he can be seen receiving orders from an angel in the eyes of others, and that's why he has done this kidnapping using a human. So you've handed the contract to a subcontractor? Azracel asked. Scalpel replies that it's more about the redistribution of labor. Saying this, Scalpel uses his magic to control Yimp and tells him that he is the master of evil deeds. Yimp cannot resist the power to Scalpel, and so his mind gets controlled. On the other hand, Jae-ik starts to walk towards his parents. He has a very serious look. As he steps on the ground, a pale green hand comes out of the ground and garbs Jae-ik's leg. Seeing this, Jae-ik gets scared and he starts to drag his leg. As he drags his leg, a green monster comes out of the ground. After that, the same species of monster starts to come out of the ground like mummies. Seeing the monsters, Jae-ik gets that they are low-level mobs. The monster then launch their attacks at Jae-ik. One of the monsters jumps and holds Jae-ik from behind. Seeing this, all the other monsters also jump towards Jae-ik. Jae-ik panics a bit as he slaps the monster on his back. It instantly gets killed and explodes, and black ink gets spread on his shoulder. As Jae-ik looks in front, he sees that a monster has come close to his face and is about to bite him. Jae-ik responds quickly and slaps the monster, saying that its breath stings. As the slap hits, the monster explodes immediately. Seeing the power of Jae-ik, the other monsters get scared and starts to sweat. Now Jae-ik raises his leg, and the monster that was holding his leg gets dragged out of the ground and flies high on the sky. As the monster is about to fall on Jay Ike's head, Jay Ike clap his hands and kills the monster like we kill mosquitoes. As the monster explodes, bulk ink overs Jay Ike's face and hands. Oh, disgusting! Jay Ike then looks in front and sees that a whole lot of monsters are crawling out of the ground. As Russell and Scalpel is watching is seen from behind a glass room. Seeing this, as Russell tells Scalpel that this mobs are too easy for Jay Ike. Scalpel replies that, rather than a large monster loudly growling in front of you, a swarm of tiny mosquitoes disturbing your sleep is more irritating. He also further says that Jay Ike's composure sure is beyond imagination, but even for the apex hybrid faced with the swarm of mosquitoes, one can't help but feel anger. On the other hand, Jay Ike is kill all the monster easily. He gives a row of slaps and kills tons of the monsters. Jay Ike also uses dance moves to kill the monsters, and within a few minutes he was done killing all the monsters. Seeing this, Scalpel gets nervous. The little Yimp also sees this and feels scared. The Yimp realizes that kidnapping was a bad idea, and he slowly starts to get out of Scalpel mind control magic. Seeing this, Scalpel again used his magic and make Yimp totally under his control. Now the Yimp becomes totally demonic, and he laughs and tells that he will make Jik have a taste of hell. Saying this, he raises Jik's parents up. Jik's mom and dad shouts out of pain. The Yimp looks at them with red eyes and says that, if things stay this way, Jik's parents will slowly die while being hung. The Yimp's subordinates get scared to see his demonic act. Jik sees this, and he gets super angry, and out of anger, his aura starts to leak. He threatens that he will absolutely not forgive them. Seeing this, Jik's parents shout and tells him not to come here. The subordinates of the Yimp tells him that he has gone too far. The Yimp makes a scared face and tells them, and this is the true taste of a demon. But inside, the Yimp is very scared, and he cannot collect his thoughts because of Scalpel's magic. Jik looks at his parents and says that he will definitely save them. Hearing this, his parent screams and begs him not save them. Russell is seeing this, and after a while he asked Scalpel that if this is his last card. Scalpel panics a bit and says that he is sure that Jik's anger will explode and unleash more awakening. Russell then turns around and says that if a more life-threatening monster attacked the hanging parents, it would be more effective. Hearing this, Scalpel thinks that this is a brilliant idea. He also questioned Russell that how did HR come up with such a plan? He would even put Satan to shame. And where do these demonic ideas come from? Russell tells Scalpel to shut up, and his gauge is going down. After that, Scalpel uses his summoning magic and summons the man-eating monster Tremos. After that, a giant centipede-like monster comes out of the ground. The monster has a huge mouth with tons of sharp, pointed teeth. The monster is about to eat Jik's parents. Jik's parents sees this and feels happy as they think that this is the bus that will take them to their home. The monster opens his mouth widen and rushed to eat them. Seeing this, Jik starts to run at full speed. Seeing him running, his parents gets upset and tells him not to approach them. Jik ignores their screams and jumps towards the mouth of the monster. He jumps and gets inside the monster's mouth. Seeing this, his parents get shocked. The monster closes its mouth and tries to swallow Jik. After a while, the monster starts to shake, and its mouth bursts open. Jik's mom sees this and gets afraid. After that, we can see Jik is completely fine. He is covered in saliva, and he is holding the mouth of the monster. Open Jik then looks at his mom and dad and tells them to clock out. Hearing this, his mom and dad gets confused. On the other hand, Russell and Scalpel is also nervous to hear this. After that, we can see Angel Henael in Heaven's Paradise, special prison. She is chilling in a pool. While she is sitting on a chair, at that time, a bald waiter comes to her with a plate of food and says that this salad, made with a base of romaine lettuce, avocado, and arugula, is served with a 2+ grade sirloin steak. As Henael sees this, she tells the waiter that she didn't order anything. The waiter stands still without saying a word. Henael seems a bit troubled. She asks the waiter that if she can't stop eating. Now the waiter replies that that's not an option. The waiter also says that she is currently in a state of excessive happiness. Hence, stopping is out of the question. The punishment that Henael has received is to eat without stopping. As the bald waiter finishes his words, his head shines brightly and it hurts Henael's eyes. So she turns around and thinks that, if she continue to stay here, she won't just fail to protect Jae-ik, but she will also become morbidly obese. After that, Henael tears a strand of hair, and as the bald waiter is about to leave, she calls him and shows him that there is a hair in her food. Seeing this, the waiter gets shocked, and he takes the plate and goes to the other waiters and starts to scold them. At that time, Henael takes a cloth and wraps it around her shoulder and starts to escape from this place. As she is about to escape, she sees that the whole place is sealed with a barrier. She then asked God for forgiveness, and after that her hand starts to shine. Later, a yellow color sharp thing comes on her hand, and with that she cuts the barrier smoothly. After that, she spreads her blue wings and gets out of that place at full speed. On that other side, we can see Jae-ik's mom and dad ask Jae-ik that, what does he mean by clock out? Jae-ik gives a deadly look and replies that it's time for them to stop living this life and go back. He also says that it seems like dangerous situations keep arising because of him, and he has given it a lot of thought that holding on to his parents any longer is nothing but his selfishness. He then thanks his parents for being there for him for the past 19 years, and the best way he can repay them is by setting them free. After that, Jae-ik smiles brightly and tells them thanks for being his parents all this while. Hearing this, Jae-ik's parents starts to cry. Seeing this, Jae-ik requests them to disappear from his sight and go back to their home. Seeing this, Scalpel thinks of Jae-ik as a dutiful son. Azracel also thinks that Jae-ik is an angel, that he is giving a painless death to his parents. Jae-ik then opens the monster's mouth widen and tells his parents to slide down, and they will reach the afterlife in no time. The little yimp is holding the ropes, and he feels guilty for doing these things to such a peaceful family. But due to Scalpel's demon pepper, he is unable to express his real intentions. Yimp thinks that after he escaped from this demon whispers, he will live a life of repentance. At that time, the demon whispers activates, and the Yimp crises, and unwilling says to Jae-ik that he will not escape from his grasp. Jae-ik's mom starts to think, and after a while she speaks up and says that she has decided. His dad also says the same. Jae-ik's dad then shouts and says, Jae-ik, you are the child born from my heart. No matter what anyone says, you are my son. I'll work overtime forever. No, I'll live with you. Jae-ik's mom also says that if he is okay with a mother like her, she also want to remain as his mother. Jae-ik gets confused and asks them that what they means. His parents replies that they want to remain as his parents. Hearing this, Jae-ik gets emotional, and he also smiles brightly. Seeing this emotional scene, the Yimp cries heavily. After that, Jae-ik gets serious and says that it's time for retribution. Saying this, he breaks all the teeth of the monster and jumps from its mouth and lands on the ground. He then looks at the monster with his deadly eyes and says that how dare it tries to prey on his family, saying he punched the monster. Getting hit, the monster starts to vomit. Black ink from its mouth. Jae-ik punches continuously, and the monster vomits the black liquid. The monster starts to shake, but Jae-ik anger was at his peak. He didn't stop his punches. After a while, he launched a powerful blow, and the monster gets pushed back. He then uses his agility and punched the monster from all sides. Seeing this scene, Scalpel and Azracel gets nervous as they cannot fathom how strong Jay-Ik really is. After taking all the punches, the monster is on his deadbed. It starts to fall on the ground. Seeing this, Jay-Ik stops and tells them not to belittle his family ever again. After that, Jay-Ik looks at the Yimp. The Yimp gets scared from his glare. But due to the effects of demon whispers, he speaks up and says to Jay-Ik that he is not scared of him. As the monster falls on the ground, Jay-Ik starts to walk towards the Yimp and says that the mastermind behind this kidnapping must face the consequences of his wicked actions. Hearing this, the Yimp and his subordinates starts to shake. The Yimp's subordinates tells him that this is the end of their carrier. The Yimp replies that this time he really regret it, and if he survives today, he will stop all his bad works. At that time, Azracel comes behind the Yimp and says, "Don't be scared. I'll transfer a strong power to you, so fight against him." Saying this, Azracel put his hand on the Yimp's shoulder and starts to transfer his powers. He then tells the Yimp that, with the power from Scalpel combined with his, he can certainly match up to Jay-Ik. As the blue aura cover the Yimp's body, he feels that he is becoming overwhelming strong. As Azracel performs this act, his gauge meter starts to go down. It is about to enter the red area. After the power transfer is over, the Yimp gets in front of Jay-Ik at super fast speed. Jay-Ik gets shocked to see this. The Yimp changes completely. He gets a red iron on his arm. In his head there are little horns. He radiates blue aura, and his face has become much handsome. He says that he has never experienced this kind of power. Jay-Ik looks serious and says that it's noisy. He also increases his aura and his eyes glows green. He tells the Yimp that he has to face the consequences of his sin. Saying this, Jay-Ik throws a punch at the Yimp. The Yimp dodges it easily. Jay-Ik punch another time, but this time also, the Yimp dodges it. He also mocks Jay-Ik, saying that he is not that much powerful. Now Jay-Ik gets angry, and he throws a powerful punch, and lucky this time, the punch directly hit on the Yimp's stomach. Getting hit, the Yimp vomits blood, and he flies away and hits a wall and gets unconscious. The collision was so powerful that it leaves a huge dent on the wall. Seeing this, Azracel gets behind Jay-Ik and tells him that he has something to say to him. He tells Jay-Ik that he left his door open when he came here, so he closed it to prevent any potential theft. Hearing this, Jay-Ik thanks him. Azracel now looks at the gauge and sees that the meter has turned to blue again. After that, he keeps the gauge in his pocket and goes towards the Yimp. He now transfers more power to the Yimp. As the power gets transferred, the Yimp gets up and says that he feels that his strength has gone up by twice. The Yimp rushed towards Jay-Ik at lightning speed and punched on his chin. As the punch lands, Jay-Ik chin gets cut and starts to bleed. Jay-Ik's mom and dad is still hanging, and now they are feeling very hungry.